this lesson we're going to be taking a look at some new concepts for phrasing. In this one we're going to deal first of all with offbeat pedaling. Now, offbeat pedaling sounds a lot like the pedaling we talked about earlier. There's a slight difference, however. With pedaling, you play the first note generally on the beat, which is on the 1. Like, there's usually a gap, and you basically drive the note through time, playing in and around the beat while you're jamming with the music. Offbeat pedaling is slightly different. Where the beat begins, which is usually on the first beat of the bar, if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, we don't come in on the 1, we come in on the and in between 1 and 2. And once we come in on the and, we keep a steady stream of notes happening. So here's an example of regular pedaling. Just keeping the note moving through time. Offbeat pedaling, I'll give you the count, would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now, what's so cool about that, you might be thinking? Well, with backing, it sounds very effective. Let's listen now. First on-beat pedaling. As we pointed out, it can be the forerunner to a nice melodic phrase. Here's offbeat pedaling. 3, 4, 1. It sets up this very nice counter rhythm. Very laid back, very cool. Now most people have an awful problem getting the timing down on this offbeat pedaling. One approach is to take the 4-note pattern. The one I pointed out at the very beginning runs counter to the rhythm that you're jamming with. And more often than not, if we go 1, 2, 3, 4 and say choose that note as our offbeat pedal point, it very often works. So if you are having problems finding where that and point is after the 1 and, you may want to set it up like this. Here we go with some backing blues rhythm. Again. One more time. It really buys you a bit of time when you're doing this offbeat pedaling. Once again, on-beat pedaling. And off-beat pedaling. Here we go. 1. It's also quite cool to pedal on this note and resolve it because it's a nice passing note. Now another type of phrasing we can use is take any particular melodic phrase you like. We'll go back to our first one. And supposing you're not sure of where to go, try beginning your next phrase on the note you ended the last phrase off with. So if we went, hit that bend note, and then we'll go to there. And if that's the end of our last phrase, we'll begin on this one. And if this is our last phrase, we'll begin on that one. Now, this might seem a little bit simple and almost like painting by numbers, but it really does draw the listener in and add continuity to your phrases. I'll just show you what I mean with some backing taking place. I'm going to start on this note. And I'm going to start on this note. I'll start on this one now. Another very cool phrasing tip is to repeat the same melodic phrase twice. If you come across a good combination, rather than go off somewhere else, try repeating it. And in some cases, if you can determine whether the phrase began, for example, on the beat, when you repeat that phrase, try playing the same phrase off the beat, and you get slightly different inflections of the same phrase. First I'll demonstrate on my own, and then with some backing. So I'll take, let's say, a 3-note pattern, and I'll drop back to here. Now, my timing was like, but I could repeat it and go. In other words, I inflected those same 3 notes slightly differently again. And then. Now let's hear that with some backing music. What starts to happen is, when you do the second phrase, which is a repeat but slightly with different timing, it often suggests something else to go to. Let's try some more ideas. Hear how that was slightly different again? Seem to be just crying out to go to here as a phrase development. So by doubling up some of these phrases, I can think of where to go next. I'm going to show you now another type of phrasing which could be referred to as split level. It's where you take a phrase down here, let's say in the mid-range for example, and then you move your hand to another position down here and do another phrase corresponding to the one you've just done down here. You could also think of this as a form of phrasing often known as question and answer phrasing, although essentially question and answer phrasing doesn't necessarily involve a shift of position. Question and answer phrasing might be something where you go, seems to ask a question, and you wait and you make a handy little answer. But in this case, split level phrasing means we're going to go from here and then move down here. As a parting bit of advice, I'd like to suggest to you that when you're playing, don't be afraid to really hit the strings hard. Play with as much authority as you can, rather than playing very timidly and quietly to yourself. Now I'm going to demonstrate all the above topics we've covered so far.